Today we're going to be looking at Jurassic Park for the NES and original Game Boy. Why two systems? Well, there's actually some key differences. Jurassic Park was one of the first Game Boy games I ever played. In fact, I think it might have been our first Game Boy game ever. Released in 1993, this top-down shooter has you playing as Dr. Alan Grant, armed only with a bazooka as you try to survive Jurassic Park while collecting eggs. What the hell? I don't remember that from the movie. Well, that's because this game takes a page from the novel. Because the general game is one big Easter egg hunt, more often than not, you're more confused as to where you have to go next instead of worrying about the dinosaurs. You do this for 6 levels until you reach the final credits level where you walk past the developer names. I've always loved this detail. Other than the egg collecting plot, the game stands on its own, distinct from the movie and the novel it's based on. It features scenes like a Triceratops stampede, blowing up raptor nest, and a showdown with a T-Rex, and let me tell you, this game is pretty damn difficult. You get multiple types of fun guns to choose from with ranging strengths and abilities, but ammo is pretty scarce on the island. Whenever you defeat an enemy, they'll drop ammo for your standard pea shooter gun. How much they drop depends on how many bullets it takes to kill them. The Spitty dinosaur takes 4 pea shooter shots, so it drops 4 pieces of ammo. However, if you use your stronger weapons, you still only get pea shooter ammo. Why does this matter? Well, when you get to the T-Rex stage halfway through the game, you're gonna want to be well stocked with your bigger guns, as this is the easiest way to defeat the T-Rex. If you run out of ammo at this point of the game, as far as I know, you're shit out of luck and you gotta start all over. Leave in the comments if there's a way to get past the T-Rex without ammo, because I've spent 20 years trying to figure out how to no luck. The T-Rex is where the key differences between the NES and Game Boy versions come into play as well. On the NES, it's a bit more of a standard boss fight. You make sure Lex doesn't get eaten by the T-Rex while also blasting at the giant lizard. Unfortunately, this is as far as I've ever made it on the NES game. Enemies like the Velociraptor move much quicker than they do on Game Boy, which means I'm more likely to use up my better ammo because I'm a crappy gamer. On Game Boy, things are a little easier to handle. For starters, the raptors move a lot slower. Fighting the T-Rex is still somewhat the same. You protect the girl and blast at the T-Rex. But instead of being limited to the same screen, after shooting the T-Rex for a bit, he backs down and you get a moment to run. Once you reach the end of the stage, you beat the level. And speaking of running, 2 of these boss scenes involve the children. If they get hurt, you take damage. In the Stampede chase, there's a bit of a lag in the kid following you, so these moments can prove to be a little frustrating when the damn kid doesn't go where you want them to. The thing I love the absolute most about this game is the music, a stellar soundtrack composed by John Dunn. Did you know? Level 1's song is a remix of the loading tune from the Commodore 64 port of Comic Bakery. Overall, Jurassic Park on NES and Game Boy is okay. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not for everyone. It requires a lot of practice and trial and error to maximize your ammo and give you a chance at beating the game. Maybe someday I'll get to finishing the NES version, but until then, I'll stick to the Game Boy. Finding the eggs can be a little disorienting because these maps tend to be so big and a lot of them take place inside of buildings. And because it's an old game with outdated graphics, a lot of the environments tend to look the same. Fortunately, like I said, there's only 6 levels, so you're not really gonna get lost over many different terrains. I'd say Jurassic Park is more of a novelty pick. As far as movie tie-in video games go, this one's one of the better ones. And considering you have Jurassic Park games on the NES, the Game Boy, the Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, I'd say the Game Boy is the better of the bunch. Jurassic Park, a game worth taking a chance on survival.